morning, everybody. I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm the president of the Dice Tower. I'm a full-time board game reviewer, and I want to talk a little bit about games that changed my life. This is a series talking about games that got me to where I'm at now. Today I want to talk about a game that I remember very distinctly. I was given as a present when I was 13 years old, and that game is Scotland Yard. Now, I've talked about games that changed my mindset on strategy. I did a little thing on Stratego. But Scotland Yard brought that to new heights in a couple of ways. One of them was just the game itself. It was unlike any other game I had ever seen. I wasn't moving pieces to attack another player. Like, Stratego was neat in that it offered me strategy, but I had seen ideas like this with chess and checkers. Scotland Yard was a one-versus-all game where one player was Mr. X. In fact, this was the first game that I remember seeing a commercial on television from, where Mr. X was running around through the streets of London and looking at the map of London, which for me was this very, very exotic place. I'd never been to London. And then looking at all the different ways you could move and how you wrote it down and everyone else was trying to figure it out was such a cool idea to me. And then when we played the game, it was just as neat to play as I had imagined it to be. And I love the idea of both being Mr. X and trying to, walk right in front of the other people, and also as a detectives working together to stop him. And the thing about Scotland Yard was I had never seen a game like it, and really for the rest of my childhood, I never saw another game that was very similar to it. Now, I've seen more games that are in this category, but this was just a phenomenal thing. And this is a game I played time and time again. The other reason that this was a big change for my life was because this was a game that the people in my neighborhood liked to play. So as a kid, I played with the other boys in my neighborhood, and we, a gang of sorts, I suppose, just of nerds. And they had stuff. They had toys, and I was the board game guy. But this was the game that cemented that me being a board game. This was the game that when I brought, everyone said, "What is this?" And I was known as the board game guy in my neighborhood, but Scotland Yard was the one that people clamored to play. It was a game that we played time and time again, taking turns being Mr. X, trying to figure out how many of the black tickets you could not use as you went throughout it, and just working together. And man, those long summer days as 5 of us would sit around, 4 people being detectives trying to catch Mr. X, the other person, those are times that I remember extremely fondly. And I remember liking the moniker of being the board game guy and thinking, well, I can't have all the same toys everyone else has. I don't have as cool of a bike as everyone else does, but I have board games, and people don't have that. And that was a phenomenal thing. And I'm so glad my parents bought it for me. I don't know what made them randomly get that game off the shelf, other than I think it said like strategy, and my dad liked the idea of Scotland Yard. My dad was a big detective story type guy. He loved Sherlock Holmes and all that, and so I'm glad this game made a big difference to me. I'm Tom Vasel. That game that changed my life, Scotland Yard.